Thank you. Good morning, everyone. Hi. Did you guys have a great day yesterday? Yeah? How many people stayed up until 10 o'clock last night? Pretty much everyone. Okay, how many people stayed up until midnight? Wow. How many people did not go to bed at all? Okay, thankfully no one. Good, so you're all going to be ready for today. That's awesome. Yeah, so thanks, everyone. Good morning again. So the next hour that I'm going to be up here, we're going to be talking about a customer's journey to BMC Helix. Okay, BMC started our journey to the cloud 9+ years ago, right? Over the course of time, we've come up with a number of best practices. We've learned from our best customers that have moved up into the cloud. We've learned from best-of-breed organizations outside as well. So 9 years later, we are an organization that has an enterprise-scale cloud solution up and running. Right, we have 1,600+ customers that use our cloud solutions. Right, we have a high degree of availability. When you compare our availability, our average availability with other vendors out there, we are right up there or better. We have upwards of 20 million end users that use our systems on a day-to-day basis and upwards of 200,000 technicians that use us. We have all the major certifications that are out there. We continue to keep improving and increasing the levels of certification to keep up with the latest needs. Okay, FedRAMP Moderate certification is something that we already have in place today, and we are working towards getting FedRAMP High certified as well by the end of this year. Okay, several customers that I talk to say, Al, like, what about data centers? Do you guys have enough data centers around the world to cover us? The answer is yes. We have 16+ data centers around the world. Several of those data centers are owned by BMC. We have others that are co-located with other best-of-breed vendors. We also partner, as you've heard from yesterday, with Amazon, with AWS, with Azure. So we got data centers that we got around the world to provide that high degree of regional needs that customers have, as well as we have all the disaster recoveries, the active modes that customers look for from a disaster recovery perspective. We have all those capabilities out there. When we talk about our customers' journeys to Helix, there's 4 key stages, if you will, that our customers would look at, right? Several of our customers are on-premise customers that want to move over into our cloud. Other customers are from other competitive solutions that have moved over into our cloud as well, right? So these customers, when they come in, we have a formal methodology of welcoming them and helping them plan what their journey to Helix is going to look like. Right, we introduce them to the service, get them caught up on all the different resources that are available to them. We guide them around the success plans that they need to have in place. And many a time, our sales organizations work with customers up front to identify what their value needs are, what they expect to get from a business benefit perspective. And we take that on and move them through the journey with us. Right? Again, reaffirm, because as you know, several of your customers, your business goals change as well, right, over time. So we work with you in understanding what the updates are, helping get those value plans identified, and we use that as a blueprint, if you will, to work with our customers. The second key aspect of our customer's journey to Helix is the actual onboarding process. Right? So we have our services organization, we have several partners around the world that have actually ramped their services up, have best practices in place to guide our customers in moving to Helix. Right? So we work with those partners to understand who the key resources are. We engage a team that consists of BMC operations, support, our business relationship management framework, and our partners to stay engaged with these customers throughout their onboarding journey with us. As customers get closer to cutting over and going live with Helix, there's obviously a hypercare period where everyone wants an extra degree of attention. So we have the right framework in place to support our customers through that. And we have a formal handoff that comes in from the implementation resources over to our operations teams, right? Then the third aspect of once a customer has gone live with us is the aspect of how do these customers start adopting and realizing value from our solutions. So we have what we refer to as business relationship managers that we assign to our customers. They work closely with the customers to be that single point of contact to guide them through their journey with us. So after a customer has gone live, they kind of like review again the value plans that were set up. They work on updating those plans and on a regular basis review this with customers and help them understand and recognize the value that they get with us. And as you can imagine, with the active release cycles that we have, right? We have 3-month release cycles and 6-month release cycles, and we work with our customers on the right time frame that works for them to get over to our latest releases. So as our customers continue to innovate, right? We work with them on the upgrade activities that happen. We work with them on taking advantage of the newest features, the newest capabilities, and also obviously engage our customers in events such as this, right? On Helix Immersion days, where they get some more hands-on experience on our latest capabilities and start taking advantage of these capabilities quickly. Okay? At a high level, these are the 4 key phases of a customer's journey with us on Helix. Okay? As I mentioned before, the focus in any cloud solution is all about value realization, right? So our business relationship managers work with our customers on several key facets that contribute towards this. First is we identify the business value, as I talked about before. We then identify what are some of the transformations that our customers have to go through to realize these values. Then we help identify the realized benefits that our customers have, help them essentially get that attention and recognition within their organizations of the value that they've realized. And on an ongoing basis, we produce the right metrics, the right dashboards for them to be able to take those metrics, see the ongoing trends that they have, the availability that they have in their systems, such that they can use that to essentially help the other folks within the organization, other stakeholders within your organizations, understand the value that you are reaping from us. So it's all about value realization as you use our Helix solution sets. Let's talk about the journey that our customers have to actually moving to Helix. Okay, I know we had a session yesterday that Candice and others had walked through as well. So we'll talk a little bit more in detail around what this migration to Helix journey looks like. We've broken down this journey here for our customers into 6 simple steps. Okay, first is for customers that are already on a Remedy 9 version, that are already on SQL Server. We ask our customers to essentially provide us a copy of their environment. As you know, for several of you that are already on-premise customers, all of the customizations, all of the integrations are in the database layer itself. You provide that to our operations teams. Our operations teams take that, and we convert it over to Helix. For customers that might be on older versions of Remedy, right? Remedy 8, Remedy 7.6, et cetera. And if you're using Oracle, right? We have some rapid processes and tools that we have in place to essentially get those environments converted over into Helix. Okay, we have several customers in the room here as well that have gone through that journey with us, so we can talk through you around how that process works. But at the end of the day, in phase 1, we give our customers a converted version of their solutions that's on Helix, with their customizations, with their integrations, that is more or less a lift and shift type of an approach. Now, our customers have an opportunity to take this environment and then determine, do they want to keep all the customizations that they had in place? Do they want to take advantage of some of the out-of-the-box functionalities that we have released as part of our innovations? So there's a customization reconciliation process that they go through. Then the second aspect of what the customers and our partners would do is understanding the integrations that they've got in place, right? I know customers that are in an on-premise type of solution set might have taken the liberty of taking shortcuts, right? You might have gotten some direct database, direct SQL type of integrations going on. Right? So that's something that we work with our customers to make them most standardized. Use REST API, use web services API type integrations. And even if you have an on-premise to on-premise type of an integration need, we have the capabilities to essentially work with you on identifying how that can be done. Okay, we have a client gateway solution. We can walk you through how that is done. That's also part of the journey that you work with us, where we tell you how best you can take advantage of those capabilities. Then once phase 2 is done, so you've now gotten your customizations reconciled, you've got your integrations reconciled, you now go through the process of acceptance testing and do all the other typical project activities to cutting over. In a nutshell, those are the 6 phases out there, okay, or the 6 steps. I do have, by the way, a detailed session later today as well. I think it's at 1 o'clock. We'll be walking in a lot more detail around the actual migration process, okay? But at a high level, I want to talk you through what these processes look like. So this is the approach or the methodology that BMC has established, that we've worked with several of our customers to get here. You might also be asking, hey, Al, that's great. Now, what types of processes or what types of approaches do you have from an implementation perspective to guide our customers through? So our services organization has been working on a variety of different packaged offerings and a variety of approaches that can help our customers get to this world. So for customers that want to start afresh, right, that say, hey, we want to take advantage of the features. We know that BMC has added all these best-of-breed characteristics. And I think Nayaki had mentioned this yesterday as well in the keynote that Gartner, based on the most recent analysis, has identified us as #1 in ITSM critical capabilities and digital workplace critical capabilities as well, right? So for those customers that say, hey, we want to take advantage of best-of-breed, best practice that BMC has provided, you can go in with a new instance type of an approach. right? So that's something that works out well. Customers might say, hey, like, you know what, we do want to do a basic type of an implementation. We want to kind of like take advantage of some of your modern capabilities, do some data migration, get some foundational data through. Our services team has approaches that they refer to as a basic type of an implementation approach. And beyond that, there's always going to be customers. I see several of the customers in the room here as well that have complex needs, right? And our services team has different types of approaches that they work with them on getting some of these types of needs met as well. Okay, so we're happy to engage in much more deeper conversations with our services teams on that. We have partners out here. I was talking to Fusion yesterday, right? They have a variety of processes that they have as well to help customers kind of get to a Helix solution too. So beyond our services organization, beyond implementation teams, right? I also hear several questions from customers around, Al, what about from a tools perspective, right? Are there tools out there that either BMC has developed or partners have built out that can help customers do a rapid migration? So one of the customers that I want to highlight out here is a customer here that's out of Malaysia, one of the largest companies out there. It's an oil and gas organization. They essentially lifted and took all their on-premise solutions, moved it over into Helix in a matter of 4 months. Right? They leverage our services organization as well as some of their local internal resources as well. And what they found is that the time that it took them to actually deploy the solution in Helix, and compared to what the typical timeframes would have been to doing an on-premise upgrade or something along those lines, they noticed an 80% improvement in the deployment timeframes. Right? What they also noticed is they were able to take advantage of this approach to eliminate customization that they had just built up over the years. Right? How many people in the room have implementations that you've got customizations on that are just there? No one really quite knows when it was built, why it was built, how to go ahead and modify it. Are there people in the room that have that need? Okay, good. I do see some customers out there. Good. So I find that is a common practice, right? Over the years, people have built stuff out, but they're just afraid to touch some of those things. So this customer was able to go ahead and reduce those customizations over as well. And what they've noticed since they moved here, in the past, customers' fortes are oftentimes not in running their own servers or in administering or updating their systems. What they didn't notice is once they moved to Helix, they've had zero outages, the systems have been up and running the way that they expected to. Okay? So this is just one case study that I want to highlight out here for you. We also have a partner here called Alderstone. They're located in the UK. They've been working with our services organization, with partners, with customers to build up a tool that they refer to as CMT. For the longest time in my life, I didn't quite understand what CMT meant. So I finally asked the CEO, and he's like, Al, that's the customer move tool. Easy, right? So anyway, right, so this tool is something that they built out to help with exactly the process of how do you quickly, easily move customers over from on-premise solutions, from also competitive solutions over into ours. Right? So they understand what the Helix data model looks like. They've come up with a number of pre-prepared customizable migration paths that they can leverage, and customers can then go ahead and enhance on that, and gives them the ability for customers to provide flexibility in how they map and move these things over. And they built up connectors that not only move from our on-premise solutions over into cloud, but also from other competitive solutions as well. Okay, something for you to be aware of. Do we have Aldo or Alfonso in the room here? Okay, yep, I think they were potting up too. Oh, there they are. Sorry, thank you. I see Aldo in the room. Thank you, Aldo. Yeah, so I just want to highlight a customer here, Keo Networks. Right? Keo Networks is one of our large customers that recently made that shift from a competitive solution, a competitive cloud solution, over into ours. Right? For those of you that are not familiar with Keo Networks, they are one of the largest data center and managed services providers in Latin America. Okay, they have upwards of 34 data centers that they run and manage on behalf of customers. They also have upwards of 2,000 customers that they go ahead and do managed services for. Okay, very high mission critical type of customer needs that they can provide services for. And as you can imagine, these customers are looking to Keo to say, make sure that you can meet all the service level agreements that you've tied in with us, right? That you've agreed to with us. We need to have those reports. We need to understand and have transparency around how things happen. So very mission critical type of needs that Keo Networks had. Thanks to the sponsorship that we had from Alfonso and Aldo and several other organizations within Keo. And again, something else that you might not know about Keo, it's a holding organization or a holding company that has upwards of 30 plus organizations internally. Right? So large customer using a competitive solution that they were not finding much value in, and they were finding it was too expensive to run and manage, so they decided to make the shift to us. So in a matter of 3 months, Kio Networks is able to switch over from the competitive solution over into our Helix solution set. Right? They have upwards of 9,000 users sitting in 4 different countries. And these users are using our systems, running mission-critical reports, making sure that they are providing visibility and transparency directly to the end customers. So they use digital workplace, they use smart IT, they use all of the key components within smart IT as well to provide the value that their customers are looking for. Okay, so thank you again, Aldo, for your sponsorship of us. And for those of you that have questions, feel free to reach out to Aldo as well after our sessions are done, and be happy to guide you along some of their learnings as well in the process out here. So we talked about how customers adopt, how they kind of like move into the cloud. We talked about the value that they're able to get from us, right? Oftentimes, and you know what, I've been in this business for 24 plus years, I guess. I look a lot younger. But you know, when I work with customers, oftentimes the biggest impediment for them to put in change is the fact that business users are so reticent and stubborn to change, right? They are like, hey, like, you know, they're always comparing a solution with a prior solution that they had, right? They are just afraid to go ahead and get anything net new coming in. So BMC has thought through that process as well. So one of the things that we recognize is we need to help our sponsors, some of the champions that we have within these organizations, help influence their stakeholders within their organization to be able to be more accepting of this change. So we look at 3 key stages of influence that exist for our customers. One is at the time of purchase, right? Because you need to make sure that your stakeholders are aware, they know that there's something big that's happening. Right? That awareness key is important, right? We've worked with several customers, and I was also listening to Candice's presentation yesterday, where sometimes in the middle of a project, a group comes up and says, hey, like, you know what, I didn't know you guys were doing this. And all of a sudden, you got to backpedal and start changing expectations with this group again, right? So that's the type of stuff that you want to be able to, you know, welcome all the different key stakeholders, help them understand that they're a key part of what this change is going to be. The second key stage of influence that happens is when a company or a customer is going live, right? Around that time frame, you need to make sure that your end users, your stakeholders, they know that something is happening out here, that there's going to be a new system. They need to be excited about the system. They need to know where they can go to and get help if they needed some questions when they do go live. That's the second key stage of influence. The third aspect of this is as our customers keep increasing their usage of a solution, keep taking advantage of new features, how can you continue to create that advocacy, right? Help your business users know that, yes, maybe in the initial go live, you did not get all the features, all the capabilities you were looking for, but now we've been listening to you. We've been adding some new capabilities and features. There's a key aspect as well around how you kind of keep your employees, your stakeholders engaged around it. So what BMC has done around these 3 key areas is in that first sphere of influence, right? We provide a champion welcome kit, right? We also provide our customers with templates that they can use to essentially educate and use these best practices with their business stakeholders around this change that's coming up for them and for them to be excited about. Okay, that's one key thing that we've done there. The second thing is when a customer's implementation is drawing to a close, obviously we do all the other best practices around projects, right? Helping to involve your stakeholders during the course of the engagement so they know what's coming up and that they feel that they've played a role in designing and coming up with a solution that's right for them. But around the time that customers go live, there's the aspect of providing customers with, again, some of the toolkits around how do you socialize this event, right, with your stakeholders? How do you help them get excited about this event that's coming up? How do you help them understand what are some of the use cases that are there, how they can come in and get help? So we got some best practices that we built up. It's all available within our BMC communities area as well, and we are happy to share some of these with all of our customers such that you can take advantage of that. And the third is, how do we help make sure that our customers, like yourselves, get to keep learning, right, around all these new capabilities that we've been releasing, right? So this event here is a good example of it, right? It's been very gratifying for me personally, as well as for several of our other engineering team members, when they run those hands-on labs, right? I've heard from several customers out here. I see Amber in the room as well, and I know that folks out here that have gone through labs, have had hands-on experience, and said, wow, like, you know, this actually did solve a problem that I was trying to tackle in my head. Right, I see Ravi in the room as well, so that's something that I'd also heard, right, that he had had some good feedback out there. So we are going to keep having more and more of these events for our customers to get more hands-on understanding, hands-on expertise on all these various innovations that come up with. right? We have several user groups that happen. For our cloud customers, we have these user groups that happen all over the world. We time it along the various other Exchange events that we have out there as well, for them to kind of come in, talk to each other, because more than me or more than us as BMC talking to customers about how great we are, it's good for our customers to connect with each other and learn from each other, right, and share best practices. So that's something that we have there as well. And we have BMC Exchange coming up in New York in October. We got another event coming up in London as well in November. So feel free to encourage some of your other stakeholders, other users to kind of come in and participate in these events too. Okay, so that's kind of like the 3 key stages out there. So customers now have been welcomed. They've onboarded successfully. They've been able to socialize and get their stakeholders within the organizations excited. And they have a variety of toolkits that we provided to help them continue to be champions, continue to understand the newest innovations that are coming up, such that they can work on building up their business roadmap, right, or on how they want to get more value. Now the aspect of what else does BMC do to help our customers adopt and realize value from our solution sets. I had made a reference to our business relationship management teams, right? So we assign a business relationship manager who, for practical purposes, is a customer success manager that you might have heard of in other organizations. They work with our customers to keep continually reviewing their value roadmap and enhancing that value roadmap. So this way, we know and understand what our customers' business goals are, what are some of the types of metrics that they want to accomplish, and we can share with them and educate them on what are we doing from a solution perspective to support them on these capabilities out there, right? So we follow success criteria in all the key domains that you've typically heard about in cloud solutions, and we kind of like tailor our engagement with our customers in these areas, okay? From an operational engagement perspective, what we do with our customers is review with them on a regular basis the service of their health, or the health of their service, sorry. We also kind of like review with them what their usage adoption metrics are, such that they understand where people are using our solutions effectively, where they're not. As a result, we then guide them around, hey, have you looked at certain capabilities that you can put in place to help increase adoption in these areas? The key to it is stickiness, right? We want to make sure that our customers here understand what is it they're getting, how better can they utilize their service, and leverage and understand best practices that exist out there. Okay, then we kind of like review with them as well. You know, much like any other solution, there's probably going to be issues that they have, defects that they might have. We kind of like have the transparency in guiding them through some of these components. And essentially, at the end of the day, come up with a customer roadmap alignment on what business value they're trying to get and what are the capabilities that we have that we can guide them and understand what the time frames are for them to take advantage of these capabilities. Okay, so those are some of the key things out there that I wanted to talk through. So then the final thing that I want to kind of like leave you all with is a customer example, Bank of England. And you can hear Judy Bennett from Bank of England talk about
Bank of England, which has obviously been around for quite a number of years in the UK. It's the central bank for the UK. And as a result, we do things like big payment systems that are the interface for all of the financial market. We also crunch a lot of data in order to make the decisions that we need to make. And we need to protect that all from a cybersecurity perspective. We implemented Remedy and Discovery. We have been really driving the self-service side of things to get people to actually raise tickets for themselves, to log on and see what the status of their tickets is. We've been driving customer satisfaction in the way that we deal with all the calls, so automating as many things as possible in order to speed things up. We are still driving the value out of what we've implemented, so the Discovery tool is the one that we're really focusing on now because that will help us hugely with asset data, software licensing, all of those sorts of things, and also service relationships between a service and all the components that underpin it. What we have been able to do is be more efficient, so we've made some cost savings, and we've been able to redeploy those onto other things, whether that be helping people to improve the way that they work with the tools that we have and become more digital themselves, or releasing them to other key priorities of the organisation.
Good, so an example of another customer here that saw the vision of moving to the cloud. As you can imagine, a bank with the name like Bank of England, right? They got to be extremely careful, very risk-averse type of an organization. But they saw the value in us. They've been using us. And I actually met with one of our contacts there recently as well. What they do is they run quarterly surveys with their employees to get a pulse of how the services that they're offering them is. And one of the most beautiful things I heard from our contact there is, Al, these surveys that we run, every quarter we are seeing our ratings. They do it on a scale of 1 to 4. And every time we run these surveys, the ratings in all the areas are a 3 or a 4. Right? So it's really good to hear that, good to see that value. So what I wanted to kind of like end the conversation with here today is to guide our customers here, and thank you first for all the customers that have seen the vision, that have moved forward with us. Super excited about several of our other customers here that are in an on-premise world that are trying to identify the path that they want to move up to the cloud. And thank you again for all the other partners that have invested your time in building your skill sets, your resources out here. And my team here, myself, the rest of our organization here is super excited to being able to work with you, guide you along to the journey to the cloud. Okay, you got a whole day session here active and packed, so get some coffee. I'm looking forward to kind of like talking to some of you folks later at 1 o'clock as well. Thank you again, everyone. Certainly.